Hi everyone, Thumper here. We're back on our DCS Liberation Mozdok to Maykop campaign. It's currently turn 10. Weather is clear. We're on our planning phase here. In our last turn, we spent time kind of sorting out logistics, right? For example, we sent a number of our squadrons here up to Minerali Vodi. So that opens up our availability to purchase, more aircraft in both here and in Mozdok. So this turn is actually going to be kind of, it's going to go kind of hand in hand with the last turn in that it's a logistical turn. And we're actually just going to be passing the turn for this. Reason is, I want to have my airfields full going into the next turn. We're going to have a pretty big turn here as we're going to be trying to take on this SA-10 here at Panther. So if you're someone who's new to DCS or hasn't played it before, you might be wondering, why would an SA-10 need an entire turn dedicated just to taking it out? The SA-10 is probably the most effective SAM site that's natively in DCS World. It is not the longest range, but probably the most effective. It's got a good 40-mile radius here. So I can show you what it looks like here. There's actually, in our encyclopedia here, we can scroll down to our SA-10. There's a couple of parts to it. An SA-10 is going to have a search radar. It's going to have, I think it's got two different tracking radars. This is the command vehicle. This is not displaying correctly. Thanks, Eagle Dynamics. It's okay. I forgive you. This is the actual big tracking radar, which goes hand in hand. It looks very similar to this, but it's a bit taller. The reason these towers have the radars on top of them is because it allows the SAM site to see over terrain. So a lot of your usual terrain masking that you would use is no longer really valid up against an SA-10 in many scenarios. The other thing is they have launcher vehicles that look like this, and they fire very, very big missiles that are basically like telephone poles, and they have lots of fuel to burn out to you very quickly and find you. So they are very difficult to attack. You pretty much have to destroy these by just oversaturating them. If we scroll over here, we can see what the bomb looks like. Or not the bomb, the missile. This image isn't the best because it doesn't give a true sense of scale here, but they're very big, very, very big missiles that will guide to you. Now, to attack these, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a kind of a double maneuver here, where we're going to have a flight of F-16s carrying harms. They are going to be trying to actually hit the SA-10. But for this turn, we're actually going to try to soak up the missiles using TALDs. If you don't know what TALDs are tactical air launch decoys. These are going to be carried by, they can be carried by the F-18 and the F-14. I'm going to be flying the F-18 for this mission. And basically what TALDs do is they just fly straight and pretty much level as long as they can, and they reflect all radar signatures that hit them. So they're extremely, extremely reflective, and most SAM sites are going to think that they are an aircraft and fire on them. So the idea is that the F-18 can carry 12 of these. I'm going to try to go in just before the flight of F-16s, launch these, kind of saturate the airspace, and hopefully the harms will be able to make it to their intended target. The reason SA-10s are very difficult to attack is because SA-10s will actually shoot down harms out of the air that are tracking towards them. They are extremely effective SAM sites. So let's go back to our planning turn here. We're actually, so we've purchased aircraft at our airfields, so we're basically filling up both of these here. And we're also going to purchase some NASAMs just up here towards our front line because we have the money. Why not? NASAMs. Perfect. And now typically what will happen is if I pass the turn, this front line will probably move a little bit backwards towards me just because you lose a little bit of your multiplier. The multiplier that sees it sees a power level between these two control points basically and decides where the front line is along this line. So it'll probably move back a little bit, and then that's okay. It's a relatively small penalty for being able to fill up our airfield. So let's go ahead and hit pass turn. And we're on to turn 11. Again, the weather is clear. And now we have lots and lots of aircraft available. Lots and lots of flights that we can plan here. And our front line didn't really move at all. So that works out kind of nicely. So let's take a look at our Intel tab. Again, we're economically kind of crushing our enemy. It's no surprise. We put it in our favor. And then in terms of air forces, we have 67 aircraft now. They have 46, 21 of which are MiG-29s. So, I mean, they are capable in the cap department. We have 114 ground vehicles. They have 57. They actually spent a lot into ground vehicles on that passing turn. They only had something like, 14 or something before. So they bought a lot of ground vehicles for this turn. So front line will probably be pretty heavily contested. Anyway, let's go ahead and plan some flights here. Let's just clear out what we've got and just start from the beginning. Our AWACS, that's fine. You know that we're always going to have that. And let's go ahead and get just some general cap coverage here. Bar cap, F-15s. These are going to cover kind of our back home areas. Our airfields is what they'll be covering. It's pretty unlikely. There's quite a few SAM sites. There's Patriots, there's NASAMs, there's Hawks. It's really unlikely that anything is going to get far enough back to actually attack our airfields. But better to plan for it just to be safe, so that we don't have to recover from it if it were to happen that way. Bar cap, F-15s. Bar cap, F-15s again. Let's put this one on target at 4157. And then let's put, I still have some extra F-15s. Let's put a little extra coverage here, just because we could end up needing it. Let's put it at exactly 1 hour into the mission. We shouldn't go too much over that, but sometimes it takes, a good 10, maybe 20 minutes over the hour-long limit that we set for them to actually get their aircraft, mobilized. So now we have a ton of F-14s to utilize for this. We have 16 F-14s. We're actually going to be putting them up here. We want them pretty much intercepting anything that comes out of Maykop. They get anywhere near our front line, those F-14s are going to be looking at them. We're going to be doing full flights of 4 for those. Utilizing all of our aircraft here. We're going to have a very saturated airspace. 4205. And let's go ahead and do another bar cap flight, F-14s. We'll put this one 1 hour in as well. I would like to get our Mirages involved, just because I like them. I like seeing kind of some variation up in the air. Let's go for, well, let's plan a couple things here. We're going to want some cast coverage because there is actually a lot of ground vehicles, it looks like, this turn. Going to have multiple cast flights. This one will be at 5302. And let's get some Apaches in on the action. Just one flight of Apaches will be fine. And then the main thing we want to make sure we plan this turn is seed on Panther. Let's check seed. F-16s is what we want. Player slots, we do not want any player slots, because we are not going to be flying the F-16 on this turn. We are going to adjust their loadout. We're going to give them 4 times harms each. This is because they are going to need it. The SA-10 is extremely formidable. The other thing is, we are going to give them an escort. Escort of F-14s. Well, we've got the aircraft. Let's go ahead and just give them the full 4. And let's check real quick. There is one thing we want to make absolutely sure of. Their ingress point. Well, actually, let's wait till we move them around a little bit. So this is not what I want to do. The reason is this has them going through an SA-11 as well. I want our missiles to not be flying through SA-11 space because the SA-11 will also shoot down friendly missiles. So we're going to be trying to come at the SA-10 from more of this direction in hopes that the SA-11 doesn't really have any bearing on what happens over here. So that being said, let's move some of these waypoints around for that flight. We are on the seed, yes. So we're going to put navigation over here. We're going to want their join over here. Nav can be, I don't know, somewhere like over here. And join, let's put it over here. And then they're going to be coming from this direction. Now their time on target is 42:54 for their ingress point. This is important because we are going to want to be going in just before them. So we are going to schedule our flight off of this time. Let's go ahead and just mark it down so that we have it. Let's see. Seed, Panther, 42:54. That'll work fine. That's just for me to reference so that I can try to hit my waypoint on time. I want to be going in just a little bit before our F-16s because I'm trying to soak up as many missiles as I can with the 12 TALDs that I can carry into the mission. That being said, let's go ahead and schedule our flight. Our flight is going to be, I'm going to schedule it as strike in the F-18. Liberation does not allow you to equip TALDs in their menus. This is something I've already checked. There just are not TALDs in these menus. I think it has to do with the AI simply just doesn't really know how to deliver TALDs effectively. You would have to have some sort of script for, tell them to get to a certain point and then just deploy their TALDs. It may be added to Liberation at some point. It just isn't yet. So we will have to get into the game and equip our aircraft with TALDs. But we're just going to fly a single ship, just ourselves, and that's fine. And let's move these waypoints. Nav was over here somewhere. And then the join. Join is this one. We will try to meet up right about here. And now this waypoint 4 for me, ingress, this is the one I'm going to be really worried about hitting. At not this time. This is not the time I'm going to be looking for. It's going to be the time I just wrote down, the 4254. And then hopefully, assuming everything goes well, we will get out of there and RTB. Let's put it here somewhere. Great. And real quick, let's just click ASAP again. Perfect. That way it doesn't think that I have flights scheduled for before the mission starts. All right, and let's see. This SA2 site, I would love to clean up this turn, just because I hate looking at it. So if we can do some dead with our Vigans. Oh, we only have 3 Vigans. Well, that being said, let's send all 3 of them. Why not? And do we have escort aircraft for them? Yes, we do, in the form of our Mirages that I was just talking about. Perfect. Delta Wings escorting Delta Wings. And we want that. We want this mission to happen. Time on target. We're going to want that 1 hour into the mission. Just because we obviously don't want them flying into SA-10 airspace while it is still active. If we fail our mission, it's gonna be bad. They're all gonna get schwacked. That being said, what aircraft do we have left? Seems like we've got most everybody scheduled for a mission. We've got F-18s left, so we can go ahead and hit this Sidewinder workshop. Let's do strike with our F-18s. We'll do 2 of them. Again, we'll put that an hour into the mission. And we'll give them an escort of F-16s. And that is probably all we're going to do this turn. The SA-11, I will probably fly myself a turn dedicated to hitting that. So, that being said, we are actually ready. We are going to go ahead and hit takeoff. And I will see you in the cockpit.